The calendar is flipping, the holiday parties are booked, and if you're a parent, you know exactly what's coming. It's
Mhm.
supposed to be this magical time, but it's also, high stakes, high stress. We can practically set our watches by the conflicts.
Oh, absolutely. The battle to leave grandma's house, the gift meltdown,
The exhaustion fueled arguments, these are the moments that just test the absolute limits of our sanity.
they do. And often those moments trigger the worst in us. The automatic reactive things we say that we later regret.
Right.
That's why we're doing this deep dive. We're looking at an evidence-based approach that helps us navigate these predictable crises with structure and compassion. It's called collaborative problem solving, or CPS.
And specifically, its main tool, Plan B.
Exactly. Plan B.
Okay, let's unpack this right away
Yeah,
because the core of CPS requires, it's a complete U turn for how most of us are raised to think about behavior.
it really is.
That we have to stop seeing the challenging behavior, the refusal, the tears, the screaming as like intentional defiance designed to push our buttons.
That shift is everything. It takes the punishment part right out of the equation.
Yeah.
The entire philosophy is in one sentence. Kids do well if they can.
Kids do well if they can.
So if a child is struggling to meet an expectation, like putting on a coat, it isn't because they won't do it. It's because they have a lagging neurocognitive skill that makes it hard in that moment.
So we're treating the behavior less like a moral failing and more like a form of communication,
A signal.
a signal that a skill is missing or just totally overloaded.
Exactly. I mean, think about it this way. You wouldn't punish a child for not running a mile if they have a broken leg.
Of course not.
So in the same way, if a child lacks the skill for, say, emotional regulation or handling transitions, we can't punish them for failing that task. We have to teach the skill.
And Plan B is how you teach it.
It's the structured dialogue that teaches the skill while solving the immediate problem.
Okay, let's lay out that structure. It's actually pretty simple, even though I know doing it is the hard part. Plan B has 3 steps.
That's right. First is the empathy step. That's all about understanding the child's perspective, their concern.
Step on empathy. Got it.
Second is the define adult concern step. This is where you state your non-negotiable boundary or your concern.
Okay.
And finally, the invitation step. That's where you brainstorm a solution together that works for both of you.
This structure is really authoritative parenting in action, isn't it? It's that balance of high responsiveness, the empathy, and high structure, the boundary.
It's the perfect balance.
Let's zoom in on that first step, empathy, because it's not just saying, I know you're mad. It's deeper.
Oh, much deeper.
Mm.
Validation is the ticket to entry for problem solving. When we name the feeling and accept their perspective, we're basically saying, I see you. Your feeling is real. It's pure emotional coaching.
And if you skip it,
If you skip it and jump straight to fixing the problem, you accidentally teach the child that distress is something to be avoided, which can, set them up for anxiety later in life.
and I think a key thing for you listening is validation is not endorsement. I can say, I see you are furious that your brother took your toy, without saying it's okay that you hit him.
Precisely. That distinction is critical. You validate the emotion, not the behavior. When a child feels heard, the defenses come down, they actually become capable of listening to you in step 2.
All right, let's apply this.
Okay.
First scenario, the classic exit strategy challenge. You have to get in the car for a long drive home, but your kid is having a blast with their cousins and flat out refuses to put on their coat.
And you can feel your own anxiety rising. The first step is to slow down even when you feel rushed and go right into step 1. You're gathering their concern.
Resisting the urge to lecture.
Exactly. So the script might sound something like this. I notice you really don't want to put your coat on right now. You seem like you're having so much fun with your cousins. Is it that you're just not ready for the fun to stop?
Okay, but what if they just scream, no, I'm not leaving, and like throw the coat on the floor? How do you move to the boundary without feeling like you're rewarding that?
That's where step 2 is so important. Because it's not a negotiation about if you leave. It's about how you leave. The adult concern holds the boundary, but it does it without attacking the child.
So you pivot from gathering their info to defining your non-negotiable. What does that sound like?
It sounds like this. I hear you. It is really hard to leave when we're having a blast. First, you connect. My concern is that we have a long drive, and if we don't leave in 10 minutes, Everyone is going to be too tired to enjoy opening presents tomorrow morning.
I like that. The concern is about the family's well being, not just because I said so.
It gives them a reason to care about the boundary.
And now the collaboration. Step three, we've heard them, we've stated our boundary, now we invite them in.
This is the invitation step. You bridge the two needs. So I need us to get in the car, but you want to keep playing. Is there a way we can say a special goodbye to the cousins or play one fast final game in the next 5 minutes before we head out?
You're giving them some control over the transition.
And you're teaching them that their needs matter, but so do the requirements of the world.
Okay, let's pivot. Next classic challenge. And this one happens in front of an audience, which just triples the stress.
Oh, yeah.
The gift meltdown. Your child opens a present from a relative and loudly announces they hate it.
Ugh. Oh, the worst. This is all about emotional and social regulation. The child is feeling real disappointment. So step one is to validate that specific feeling.
Not the rude behavior.
Right. It might sound like, I can see you were really disappointed. You were hoping for that specific Lego set, and this isn't it. It's really hard when we have a picture in our head of what we want and it doesn't happen.
And you have to do this while Aunt Mildred is standing right there looking crushed.
Yes. And then you move to step two, the adult concern, which is all about protecting relationships. You might say, my concern is that grandma spent a lot of time picking this out for you, and saying, I hate it, makes her feel sad. We want to protect her feelings even while we deal with your disappointment.
So the collaboration here isn't about getting a different gift. It's about creating a social plan.
A social exit plan, exactly. The invitation step is about immediate behavior.
Yeah.
Can we come up with a plan? Maybe we can say, thank you for thinking of me right now to be polite. And then later, when we are alone in the car, we can talk about how frustrating it is to get the wrong thing.
You're teaching them to pause that impulse.
Exactly.
Okay, moving on to the chaos of the environment itself. The holiday table, all the adults are sitting down, and your kid is running laps around the dining room. Scenario three, refusing to sit still.
Right. So you have to remember, holidays blow up routines. That novelty plus the loud environment can be incredibly overstimulating for a child's nervous system. The running around is often a symptom of that overload.
So in the empathy step, you're trying to figure out, is this boredom or is it true overstimulation?
You approach it gently. I notice you're having a hard time sitting still at the big table today. Is it because the grown-ups are talking a lot and it feels boring for you? Once you understand what's driving it, you state your concern. I get that. It's a long time to sit. My concern is that this is a special family moment where we all eat together, and it's distracting to others when you run around the chairs.
And the collaboration, the invitation, offers them a controlled choice, a way to meet the expectation that respects their limits.
Yes, you provide an off-ramp. We need you to be at the table with us. Do you think you could sit for just 10 minutes until you finish your roll? Or maybe we could bring one small, quiet toy, like your coloring book, to the table so you have something to do while the adults talk.
You're providing a coping mechanism.
An active one.
All right, last one, the inevitable screen time battle. You use the iPad to get through the long wait for dinner, but now it's time to stop, and your child is just screaming.
This is a health boundary, and it's so important we frame it that way. Research shows that holding firm on screen limits is vital. So you're not just being a mean parent. You are setting a boundary for their actual health.
The frustration for them is so huge in that moment, though. You just ripped them out of a world they were totally immersed in.
Totally. So, empathy first. I see you're incredibly frustrated that I'm taking the iPad away. You are right in the middle of a game you love. It feels unfair to stop right now, doesn't it?
You acknowledge the injustice they feel.
Yes. Then our adult concern reinforces the health rule. My concern is that your brain needs a break before bed so you can sleep well, and we agreed on 30 minutes. If we fight every time we turn it off, it makes me not want to let you use it next time.
The invitation step here has to solve that really jarring cognitive transition.
Right. You have to replace the screen with a regulation technique. I know it's hard to just stop instantly. Would it help if we set a timer for 2 minutes to let you save your progress? Or do you want to do a silly shakeout dance as soon as the screen goes off to get that frustration out?
A structured transition or a physical release. So we've gone through these 4 scenarios, but let's look past the immediate moment. What is the long-term benefit of using Plan B consistently, even when it feels like it takes longer?
This is the magic of it. This is where it goes from just a conflict management tool to a powerful cognitive training tool. Every time you bring your child into step 3, into the collaboration, you are exercising their executive functions.
That's jargon. Let's break that down. What are executive functions here?
Think of them as the brain's air traffic control system, the skills you need to manage yourself, to plan, to be flexible.
Okay.
In these cases, we're talking about inhibitory control. That's the ability to stop a primary impulse like screaming, I hate this gift, and replace it with a controlled, thoughtful action, like saying thank you.
So every time they choose a solution in the invitation step, they're literally building new neural pathways for self regulation.
You got it. They're strengthening that inhibitory control muscle. We're demanding the very skills they're lagging in, but we're doing it in a safe, supportive, collaborative way. It's so much more effective than punishment.
And you mentioned before we started that we can even use this proactively before the chaos hits.
Absolutely. New situations are huge anxiety triggers. So, a key preventative move is to practice ahead. You can literally role play these exact scripts at home before you even go to the party.
Polite exit, the thank you for the gift.
Yes. By preloading their brain with what to expect, you
Yeah.
lower their anxiety and you dramatically increase their chances of success when the real stressful moment arrives.
That's invaluable. As we wrap up this deep dive, it's so clear that the framework can transform that predictable holiday conflict into, genuine skill building collaboration. It asks you to show up for your child with compassion, even when their behavior is really pushing your buttons.
And that leads to the final, I think, most provocative thought for you, the listener. We've given you all these scripts, but the hardest part of Plan B is actually step zero.
Steps.
It's delivering any of this without an emotional reaction yourself. If you find yourself hitting your own limit, the most important move is to give yourself radical grace. Model what you want to see. Take 30 seconds. Step away, take a deep breath, and regain your calm before you start Plan B. That calm, empathetic leadership, that is the single most important factor in whether any of this works.